I completed this game many years ago. It was 2010 this first came out, and I pre-ordered this, so I played it straight away on release.
Don't forget, some things mustn't be forgotten. The shadow hunting me. I must hurry. My name is Daniel. I live in London at Mayfair. What have I done? This is crazy. Don't forget. Don't forget. I must stop him. Focus. My name is... I am Daniel.
If I can help it, I'll try not to speak while the protagonist or other characters are also talking, just so that it doesn't get in the way with various voices going on at once. You say it's a horror game, not Nintendo, but some Nintendo Pokemons are very horrific. Like, isn't there a Pokemon which is the Souls of the Dead? It's some sort of mask-wearing being, and you can never see what it truly looks like, or its mask is the form of the person that it's meant to represent. It's been so very long since I last played Amnesia, but I have gone through both this and the sequel, A Machine for Pigs. That one wasn't even made by Frictional Games. It was made by a company called The Chinese Room. They did Dear Esther as well as Everybody's Gone for the Rapture. Ooh. If I remember correctly, this game is set in, I believe it's Prussia, which is the country that would eventually form Germany, because I remember the owner of this estate, I believe his name's Alexander. He was a Prussian baron, and indeed many other things. He's very central to the storyline. I quite like this because it was a lot more supernatural than what Penumbra was. With the games of Penumbra Overture and its sequel Black Plague, it was mainly sci-fi horror with the whole Cthulhu mythos, which is something they always tried to embellish in practically every single one of their games, with Soma being set in the ocean, which is where Cthulhu lives in his underwater city of Valais. And then you've got other, and what was it? Oh, that was it in Penumbra. It was like aliens, and there are characters who are directly referenced to Lovecraft. I think Philip, that was it. The main character was called Philip, and his father was Howard, and H.P. Lovecraft's name, Howard Phillip. They even call their game engine the HBL engine, after the very imaginative sci-fi author. With this game, although there's no real aliens to speak of, they do talk of other worlds. Well, I say other worlds, it's more other dimensions, so I don't know whether you can call it aliens if it's from another reality altogether. For some reason the game's giving me controller instructions in very pixelated writings. I remember Penumbra Overture, the graphics for that were super old now. Well, the game's 10 years old. The main enemy in Penumbra Overture were dogs, and the dogs, they were animated in a way that they don't even have paws. They are literally on just textureless stumps. It was quite bizarre looking at those animals, especially when you see them so many times. Is that Cthulhu's brother, the Moon Lord? Cthulhu himself does have a family in the mythos. which was done by not only Lovecraft but people like August Derleth and a lot of August's friends. They carried on the legacy after he died. Lovecraft, like many other authors of his era, died in poverty, similar to Edgar Allan Poe, who reportedly was found wandering the streets delirious wearing another man's clothes about a day before he died. Lovecraft himself did know a lot of famous people such as Harry Houdini, and Houdini once approached him saying, "Oh, I've got this great story for you. I was in Egypt and I went under these pyramids and I saw these horrific visions and sights." But Lovecraft says, "No, you're telling me shit," and he didn't believe him at all. And then Lovecraft was inspired by this though, and did end up making a game called Under the Pyramids, which is based on Houdini's own story which he told him. Back in the 1920s, when Lovecraft was around, he wrote for a magazine called Weird Tales. As did many authors then. It was very difficult to gain a full-time career in writing, and that's how a lot of these authors ended up knowing each other and became close friends, because they all were basically forced to work within the same publication. For those of you that have never heard of it, there's this great application on Steam called Borderless Gaming. It's about £2 and it is wonderful. It basically made my like me going through games like Dark Souls 3 and Dragon Quest, it made it really great to go through, because you get awful screen tearing in games like that otherwise.
19th of August, 1839. I wish I could ask how much you remember. I don't know if there will be anything left after I consume this drink. Don't be afraid, Daniel. I can't tell you why, but know this. I choose to forget. Try to find comfort and strength in that fact. There is a purpose. You are my final effort to put things right. God willing, the name Alexander of Brennenburg still invokes bitter anger in you. If not, this will sound horrible. Go to the inner sanctum, find Alexander, and kill him. His body is old and weak, and yours, young and strong. He will be no match for you. One last thing. A shadow is following you. It's a living nightmare, breaking down reality. I have tried everything, and there is no way to fight back. You need to escape it as long as you can. Redeem us both, Daniel. Descend into the darkness where Alexander waits and murder him. Your former self, Daniel.
There we go. Bloody hell, that was a long message. I try not to speak when the other characters are talking. Now, while I like the storyline for this game at the very beginning, it does get quite weird. There's talks of like amnesia potions and things like that. Indeed, Daniel was just there writing a message for himself because he knew he'd forget. Throughout the entire game you see like these drops of pink, and later on you see it's also these like red petals just dotted all about the place. I'm just going to follow the path, see if it leads me somewhere. You know, I've been playing this for about 10 minutes and I've only just realised I can actually turn the torch on. You can also light these tinder boxes. I mean, with tinder boxes you can light all these torches, so that gives you another way to see. Unfortunately it's static lighting, so you do have to be careful as to when you use them, as it's a limited resource. Oh, hello Jessica and Ali, welcome both. At the moment I'm just going through the very beginning of Amnesia Dark Descent. And even though it's a linear path, I seem to have already gotten myself lost. There must be another door around here somewhere that I have missed. God, there's wine absolutely everywhere. Considering the owner of this place was this very highly esteemed baron, he seems to have been incredibly lazy with the manor's upkeep. Although we, as you see later... Oh, there we are. I completely missed that lever. In this game you have a sanity effect, so if you see really horrible, horrific sights, or if you roam through the game in the dark, then what happens is you start seeing very strange effects, like all these graphical effects start affecting you, and eventually your character can physically collapse and stumble due to it. But if you end up lighting the environment instead, and if you solve quests, then Daniel gets better resolve, and he's further convinced that he can actually succeed.
Is it inside the castle?
In a manner of speaking. Come, bring the lamp. You've been to the refinery, have you not?
I don't believe I have. Is it connected to the... what did you call it?
The inner sanctum. My most precious chamber, Daniel. And it lies well beyond the refinery. In fact, it lies beneath the very stone of Brennenburg.
Now this thing we're looking at is called the Shadow. It's some sort of otherworldly darkness that is basically attempting to hunt us down. You can never really fight the Shadow. You can only ever run from it. Well, you can say that about every single enemy in this game. There's no ways to attack anyone. You can... oh, I just heard a woman scream then. You can pick up items and throw them at foes, but it basically does nothing. It staggers them very, very little, to the point where you might as well not even bother. In Penumbra Overture, what you could do was... actually, let's ignore the screaming woman for now, she can wait. So in their first main game, Penumbra, with all the dog enemies, you could use a pickaxe and you could attack them, or if you threw enough items at them, you could also kill them. And in Black Plague, they decided they didn't want that. They didn't want you to actually be attacking enemies and hurting them. So they removed weapons. What they didn't remove was health from the enemies though. So you could actually pick up boxes, and if you cheese the enemies by just like standing on a platform they can't reach, you could actually kill them. I don't think there is health in this game though for the enemies. No. Let's read the message.
16th of May, 1839. The unflinching African sun has continued to plague our expedition, making it impossible to dig until dusk. How Professor Herbert managed to find the location in these vast plains of nothingness remains a mystery to me. When I asked him about the tomb again, he told me about the legend of Tin Hanan, the mother of us all. An interesting story in its own right, but I can't help feeling there's more.
With Penumbra, what the devs really liked to do was physics, so you can pick up items and throw them. You open drawers manually as well. It's quite a nice thing to do. You can also do it to make like little barricades from the enemies, so say if an enemy's coming through, you just grab a load of chairs or some tables and you just throw it in front. You have to be careful with doors because doors only open one way. Oh gosh, that made me jump a bit then. My profile picture was made for me. I asked someone if they could make me a little clay model of this character. It's the villain from the game Deadly Premonition. And they did. It's absolutely wonderful. I really love it. The little picture is actually right next to me, in fact, like the clay model itself. It's fantastic. There's one of my... oh gosh.
Much of the castle is old and hasn't been tended to for centuries. When the shadow arrives, it won't take long until things start falling apart.
We're just buying time anyway. Let's do what we can.
There isn't much to be done about the wars. We should reinforce weak structures. The ground will tremble.
17th of May, 1839. Today, I took some men and ventured into the dark, ancient, the crudely carved... I was...
And there's a risk everything will cave in on us.
Carry on.
Especially downstairs. Here, and there. Let's get the servants working on it.
Oh, thank you, Jess. I do like it. Yeah, it is very cute. I took a picture of it and put it on the Deadly Premonition subreddit because it's the main villain from that game, and they seem to like it. Now there's some sort of... oh, there are these bloody like cockroaches. I don't know if these ones right now really exist, but I do know if you let your sanity get too low by playing in the pitch black like I'm doing right now, then you start seeing them all over the place. It says fragile but not breakable by hand. I need to see if I can find some sort of tool at all. The specimen with the axe. In the character you're on about, the specimen with the axe from Spookies, that's based off a horror game called Clock Tower. It's an old point and click game, so quite scary. It's not an axe though they use in that game, it's a giant pair of garden shears. The villain in that is called the Scissor Man. It's a very scary game. It's quite freaky as well, it's got some very bizarre elements to it. Now, if I was Daniel, I'd like climb to the very top of this and just get the hell out. If I could, anyway. If you look out the windows, you can see we're in the middle of some forest. Oh, there's a map here. The Kingdom of Prussia. That's something I didn't notice when I first played the game back in 2010. Now, we need to find some sort of item in order to break the, like the weakened door. I wonder if a chair will do it. Daniel is one of the world's strongest men because he can hold a chair and throw it while still holding a lantern in the other hand.
You have to be swift when you activate the first one. You hear that? If it stops, you'll have to start over.
Isn't all this a bit excessive?
You can never be too careful, Daniel.
Oh no, I'm buggered. There's no oil left in the lantern. I was just about to check to see how much I had left. Now, I'm going to light a little candle because my sanity is getting low. You can hear the character's heartbeat and that means you're in trouble. There's some sort of lever here, so I'm going to have to look around. Oh, there we are, we've got oil. Now we can waste it again. What the? Oh. That's how you have to use it manually. If you can read this note just by smashing the glass. Like that. So. Oh, this one doesn't even have voice acting. Now there's some sort of lever here. I know there is because I did... Oh, there we are. So you push it backwards. And then there's meant to be a second. I think that's done it. No, it's still locked. Oh, there's more than two. That's why. My bad. It's like a Scooby-Doo cartoon where the secret is always the picture that's like more animated in the background. So it's easier for them to actually animate. The wine cellar key. Oh! I don't know if I should hide or not. I heard something. The enemies, there's two main types of enemies in this game. The first are called the grunts and the second are, I think they're called something like the bruisers. Oh, and there's a third as well. It's some sort of water-dwelling monstrosity. Very interesting in its appearance. Now, I don't know why I'm going back there when it's obviously I have to go here. Oh, the door's already open. I sort of don't want to play with the light on because I know there's a monster here. The brutes, you say they're called. Yeah, it is the brutes. They're nearly identical. The only real difference between them is one hurts more and oh gosh. Oh, it's quite an interesting jump scare. The brutes hurt more and I think they're a bit faster than the grunts are. Both of them are faster than you as well. Now, my Daniel is shaking like a shitting dog right now because I'm playing without the lantern. I can hear like all these bugs just crawling. Eventually you will actually see them as well. There he is. Later on in the game you'll see that creature again. It's called the Gatherer. So you see now he's vanished. And there's absolutely no way he should have disappeared. He should be standing here right now. God, I can even hear them. Later on in the game, you have another scene just like that. But if you run fast enough, you can actually grab him and he will attack you like a normal enemy. They're also involved in some sanity effects in the game as well. Like sometimes you'll see them but they're not really there. Or you'll hear them and they're... Oh no, my character's collapsing. Picking up that note was the final straw, it seems.
17th May, 1839. After pounding the unforgiving stone wall for what seemed like an eternity, I realized it was hopeless. I was trapped. I fell to the ground, gasping for air, trying to focus. That's when I saw a faint blue shimmer. My weakened body was heavy to carry, but I managed to push myself toward the enchanting light.
I have control of my character during this scene.
It was waiting for me. Enclosed in dark nothingness, I felt myself drawn to the mystic light.
This is the
I
orb.
reached out, closing it in my hands. The faint glow escaped my fingers and began to spark brightly and spirit me away, unlocking alien memories of spiraling towers, endless deserts, and impossible geometry. The next thing I can remember is the grating sound of stone being lifted, the voices of the Arabs pulling me to safety, and grasped firmly in my hands was the broken pieces of a most peculiar relic.
This relic, the orb, is basically the reason for this entire storyline. It's a very important artifact. What the orb is exactly, it's somehow left to interpretation, like many things in this game. Following the whole Cthulhu mythos style of storytelling, they like having concepts of like impossible shapes, well, which is what he did say, in fact, like non-Euclidean architecture, things which can't physically exist but still do anyway. In Lovecraft's writing, he often invokes this trope where you can't actually have any concept of what these creatures truly look like. Oh no, I'm being attacked by the shadow. Because if you was to actually see some of these monsters, you'd end up going mad. Like Cthulhu, for instance, his very image invokes insanity. The shadow's getting all sludgy on us. If you touch it, it does hurt you, so we want to try and avoid that. You fell on your elbow. Oh gosh, I'm sorry. I hope you are okay. Look, Daniel just got attacked by the sludge. How do you think he feels? Now, about 15 minutes ago, we abandoned a screaming woman to her fate. She's probably in the laboratory, but let's not go there just yet. The wine cellar. We need a key to unlock it. I thought we did have a key for the wine cellar. Unless... Ah, it's in the inventory, that's why. I thought the game was going to open it for us automatically. There we go. And we got a little bit of sanity back. The shadow is jelly. It's the blob you are seeing is some sort of byproduct. So wherever the shadow goes, its jelly follows. Not much oil left. I'm surprised we have so limited oil, considering I'm not really wasting it for the most part. Okay, the game's telling me off now, saying I should really be careful with playing in the dark.
Where did the Baron go?
Who cares? He left us enough wine to last us a lifetime. Or at least until tomorrow.
It's so hard to see when you have those little flashback scenes. Oh god! Oh, that made me jump. And Daniel's just been knocked out. Here we go. We're probably gonna have an image of a monster or something. Oh no, surprising. gosh, the screen tearing is real. I wonder, can you notice the tearing back quite badly yourself? Like, I can see it very obviously. Like this horizontal line near the top, like near the middle of the screen. Oh, here we are. We have to use physics to try and get this door open. Probably help if I tap the very top of it. There we go. Come on, you get. Oh, this takes ages. Oh, I don't need the lantern for this, but at the same time, we have to be careful because you don't really want to play in the dark, especially now that we're approaching enemies. There we go. Got some sanity. Not at all. Okay, that's good. Oh god, he's here. The door. He just started trying to break through that door, so I'll see if I can hide out in here for a moment. I swear that door just shut on me. I can hear something. I'm going to turn off the light and I'm going to have a little peek. You know the door should not be opened at all. Well, there are many... Oh dear. I'm surprised. I'm really expecting monsters. I have played through this game before, but only once. So I sort of know what happens, but it's been such a long time. What is that? Some sort of rocks? Ah, the castle's crumbling. Alexander of Brennenburg has not been looking after this place. Oh, tinderbox. They recently added achievements for this game. I think it was October last year, which is quite surprising considering this is 7 years old now. It's hard to move. Oh, take care, Bennett. I hope you're feeling better. There we are. Let's fill ourselves with even more oil. What the? I just threw a wooden box, but I heard a metal smash. Unless it somehow just bashed a bottle on its way down. One of the achievements for this game, if I remember correctly, is collecting every single tinderbox. And I think there's 200 of them. Now there's a few doors we couldn't open, but we did hear banging coming from the other side. And in the door I'm approaching now, I'm pretty sure a monster did actually try and break through it. Yep. There's gore here, that means we're not alone. So what is it? Some sort of like mouldy cow that they've been eating. When we first entered the wine cellar you could hear soldiers talking and they were drinking a toast for their latest mission. These soldiers are what we're going to see in a moment.
Feels like my chest is going to burst.
My God! Wilhelm, do something!
Accept it. We're not getting out of here.
How can you say that? Alexander, you piece of shit! Let us out of here!
Drinking poison wine is very unhealthy. Alexander Brennenburg decided he didn't really want to be dealing with some of his soldiers anymore, so he decided to poison them with the wine. Apparently it caused their bodies to almost explode in a way. I know the wine cellar has a very big scare. I remember it back in 2010. But we've not seen it yet. I have to be careful. This is strange. Something should have happened by now. But it's not. Either I'm remembering the game really badly or there's something else we need to explore here. I'm deliberately playing in the dark because... Actually, you know what? No, we're taking too much sanity loss. I can't be playing in the dark anymore. I've I've got 14 tinderboxes. I could spare a few, but you don't really want to be doing that, especially if you're going to leave an area. The grunts want to get the lucky charms. Well, the grunts won't be seen in this game for another... Oh, there he is. You won't see grunts for about 4 or 5 hours maybe. I think this game took me about 8 hours to complete. I'm just going to stay hidden. Actually, you know what? No, I've changed my mind. We're just going to run. Or maybe we should say hello to him. Just to make sure he is really here. Where is he? Strange. If my memory is not failing me, the wine cellar is where the grunts, not the grunts, sorry, the gatherers, where they make their true appearance and you can interact with them and they can attack you. But I can't see any at all. Well, what items do we have? We've got some healing item and 4 items which we don't know what to use them for. We've just been picking them up. It's because you've got 2 options. You can either go to the wine cellar or the laboratory, and I'm guessing these items are, well, for the lab, that we've got to create some sort of concoction. We're probably going to use it to attack the shadow in some way. I remember there's this wall or this corridor and the shadow's blocking it, and you create some sort of acid to destroy the shadow. So that's probably what we're going to use it for. As Mr. Gatherer does not seem to be down here, we might as well leave and go to the lab straight away. I must be remembering this game very badly. I was absolutely certain the wine cellar was where they start attacking. In a way, that's good. It means that there's more surprises waiting. Oh, and here's another surprise, the shadow's hitting us. Damn it. Oh, the aggressive jelly returns once more. Let's go to the laboratory. While you can run past the jelly, try not to stand too close to it, because it will attack you after a short period of time. So not exactly healthy to be across. Throughout this entire playthrough, all I can hear is this like scratching sound in my ears. It's because Daniel's slowly going insane. The reason for that is because we've been playing without the lantern for a lot of this. Yeah, no need to scream at me, mansion. So eat the jelly. No, you shouldn't eat the jelly. The jelly hurts you if you touch it, and that's if you're wearing shoes. You wouldn't really want that in my digestive system. Probably end up like the soldiers that drank the poison wine and just detonate. It's like a boomer in Left 4 Dead. Is that a chest now? I keep thinking these things are chests because there's some sort of insignia on the front. It makes it look like a sort of lock. Now I'm going to light this up because I think we're going to be here for a while. We need 4 chemicals. That's amazing because we have 4 chemicals. Oh wow, Daniel instinctively knows what order they're meant to go in. Oh no. I heard something break. That's not good. Meth lab. Sort of. I'm pretty sure it's an acid we're making, but we need a beaker. So let's go find some sort of jar. I don't know why we can't use any of these jars. There's literally like 100 of them in this room.
There should be more coop racks.
Damn it, the oil keeps running out.
Let me see. And 1 part aqua force.
these little items here are from another world. It belongs to the owner of the castle, Alexander of Brennenburg. Whenever you click on them, it reveals a memory of the past. It's the exact same as the Penumbra games, where you find items incredibly similar to this, and when you click on them, you get some sort of insight into the alien mind that is deep under the earth. Now, do you see that splashing down below? That's a monster. He's not hiding, that's literally what he is. Some sort of invisible entity. You can see it if you go to the wiki though. I'm pretty sure that they did like have some sort of base animation for it, and it's like a box, something like that. What the? Do I have to turn this a bit more? Oh, it's so awkward turning this thing. Oh, no, I've just turned the bloody thing off. Turn it back on again. That's it, frictional games. Show off your bloody handle effects. There we are, part of acid. Now we can attack the byproduct of the shadow at last. Oh dear. So we came down these stairs, but because the castle is collapsing due to the shadow, it means that we have to find another way. Don't think we can go this way though, damn. The place is literally crumbling apart. Throughout various sections of this castle, the shadow is basically just destroying all of it. It's this cancerous growth, and it's spreading all over. It's targeting me though, of course, because well, I'm the protagonist. At various parts of the game, it will actively chase you as well. Oh, I can't use the acid there. I need to find a way out. I thought the obvious way out would be through into the water, but obviously not. Unless I find an item and throw it and see if that breaks it. Probably not though. Nope, it's just me being an idiot, of course. I could grab some chests and see if that would work. Like if I can... Oh, here we are. What if we use this? Oh, the game did that automatically then. Just placed it like that. Sweet, we're free. In Penumbra Overture, there's a similar puzzle where you have to get to a ladder up above, but it's been destroyed, and you have to stack a load of boxes against each other. Unfortunately, because the physics are rendered in real time, it means that it can be quite easy to knock them down. Right, the shadow's getting really annoyed with us. The shadow is somehow linked to the orb, so if you mess with the orb, then the shadow decides that it's had enough of you and tries to do you in. And we don't want to go that way. I think we need to go further down below with the petals. Because we came through that door I'm looking at right now. So we might as well try and head downstairs. Yes, this is where we need to be. Use the pot of acid on the shadow byproduct, get an achievement called Alchemist, and then proceed to win the game. Well, almost win the game anyway. There's about 7 hours left, I reckon. Always hurts my eyes when you see that.
It's dark in here.
Yes, and there's a good reason for it. But you can light the lamp now if you wish.
What's the reason for the darkness, that is?
Stay close. Be careful not to stray.
What's the reason? Why is it so dark?
Pay attention, Daniel. It's important that you keep going straight and make sure not to stray.
Let's have even more oil. Hey, you're welcome, Biscuit. At the moment we're about almost 1 hour into Amnesia. Oh dear. So this guy will disappear when he goes out of sight, but if you decide to run up to him, I believe he will stay, and he'll start trying to do you in. As the game is saying right now, you're not allowed to look at enemies. The same rule applies to the other frictional games that they made. Oh. Let's open this door. In the box. Excellent. Can't be wasting oil, so you have to try and use it in the boxes when you can. Now there's all these items all over the game that you can't use, like hammers and stuff like that. It's all pointless. Oh dear. Ooh.
22nd of June. I found my...
Boring. Gosh, I really changed my attitude from listening to all the audio messages to just immediately skipping them. If you ever played Half-Life 2, there's a really good mode in that game called Developer's Commentary, where throughout the entire game you see these little speech bubbles all over the place, and if you click on them you'll hear a dev talking, and he'll be speaking about the game, like why they decided to design this puzzle, why is this part of the game an action scene, how did they make this cutscene, stuff like that. And Amnesia decided to do the exact same, and so there's a commentary mode in this which can access any options, and it's really good. So like around this part of the game you'll see a speech bubble, you click on it and it will go on about, oh, we decided to add enemies to this part of the game because we thought that we had a very peaceful moment prior, and so it will add a lot of tension with the juxtaposition. Will I be playing Justine? Oh, maybe. I never actually completed Justine, but I did play it. It's very scary. I thought Justine was the scariest, like it was the scariest part of the entire Amnesia series, especially the chase scene at the end. It was very freaky. I did like Justine. It was a very cool free DLC. Came out as part of one of the Steam summer sales, I believe, or like the Easter sale. But I had a lot of fun playing that. They had a brand new enemy model for that mode as well, new protagonist and everything. It was great. I did play some custom stories for this game as well, like the Great Works, and if you go to the Steam page for this game you can see that there's a trailer, and someone remade the trailer because that scene doesn't actually exist. Oh, that door just closed on me.
Yesterday's.
My sanity is... oh dear. Alright, I'm really suffering now. I'm gonna wait here for a moment. Just until my sanity comes back. If it will, that is. Which monster is the scariest? The scariest monster is the final suitor in Justine, because the chase scene is very freaky. In terms of appearance, the gatherers are the scariest because of the way their mouths look. Now, I can't leave this place because we haven't actually accomplished anything. Like, there's no quest item or anything that we seem to have picked up, so we have to stay. I apologise for everyone that has to watch the very low sanity Daniel just tripping around in the dark. His sanity will come back over time, provided I don't end up looking at enemies. There we go. If you've ever played the tabletop game Call of Cthulhu, that has a very cool sanity effect as well, and you do get sanity back for completing quests, much like Amnesia. Quite a nice mechanic, because it shows that when you do, like, say, complete puzzles or you get away from an enemy, it shows you slowly trying to triumph over this impossible foe. So you're getting little tiny victories, and it slowly tries to build you up before the monsters knock you back down again. In the Cthulhu mythos, most of the characters just end up going insane. Very few of them ever manage to make it out alive, or if they're alive they end up locked up in Arkham Sanatorium. If you're a fan of Batman, the Asylum, Arkham Asylum, it's because of well, the Cthulhu mythos. Arkham is a fictional city where a lot of stories take place. When Lovecraft died, one of his best friends, August Sterler, decided to spend all his money on making a publishing company for all of Lovecraft's work, and they called it Arkham House, after the fake city. They did a shit job for Machine for Pigs. Well, it wasn't Frictional Games that made Machine for Pigs, but I agree with you, I didn't like that game at all. It was made by the Chinese Room, they made Dear Esfa, and everyone's gone to the Rapture. And now my screen's going red. I wonder why. Why is this room making me go all red? Possibly just a sanity effect. Oh, it's because I was stiffing on the jelly. With Machine for Pigs, while I liked the story and the voice acting, I thought the main character was good. Not morally, of course, morally it was horrible, but in terms of the writing I liked it. It was a bit confusing with what the Machine for Pigs actually was, as the literal machine for pigs. Because I know what it is, but I didn't quite understand it, like how it was made. And oh, you're shitting me if I've just fucked over this entire game. Oh dear. Oh, this is bad. So you go on about this puzzle taking you longer than it should have. How about this puzzle I'm in right now? Right, I've got a lot of tinderbox. I'm going to be here a while. Come on, come on. Yes, I made it. I narrowly avoid having to restart the stream all over again. Oh, there's something here. It's stuck. Something is clogging the crank and pulley contraption. Oh, what is clogging it? Let's have a look. Oh, I see. There we go. Let's shut this door just in case. One thing I didn't like for Machine for Pigs was that a lot of the assets are reused incredibly commonly. So for example, when you start the game you see this painting, and this painting is repeated about 20 times in the first minute of game time alone. And I really didn't like that, it really brought you out of the game. Because your immersion's basically ruined by seeing this same painting constantly repeated. There was about 3 paintings I used for the entire game, just reused over and over again. Oh dear. Okay, we've got the Knark. I think that's what it's called anyway. Damn it. Oh no. Oh no, this is bad. Now you can see he's completely invisible. He can only exist in the water, so we are safe here. Right, let's run past him. Oh god. Oh no 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 no. Oh wow, he is right on my arse. Come on, come on. Come on, Daniel. Oh, this is really tense. You have to, it's like a Mario game, you have to like constantly jump on the boxes to avoid him. Oh, you're kidding me, this is timed. Now this creature, you can distract him, there are ways you can get past it. One way is you can see these chunks of meat throughout the level, although we haven't encountered any yet. And if you throw it in the water, he'll begin eating it. So you can use that as a little distraction. Right, still will die. Oh dear. Oh wow, this guy's fast. I can hear him right behind me. Oh, there's a skull there. You'll probably use that as a distraction. Oh dear, no, that didn't last long. Just constantly jump on the boxes and you'll be safe. Unless you fall anyway. There we are. We made it. Oh, but I think he will as well. I think this is the second monster. I thought it was the same one following me. Now, pick up this chunk of meat, throw it there, and as soon as he begins munching, you can leg it. That was incredibly stupid of me. He's not falling for it. There we go. Now, there's a handle here. You have to constantly turn the handle to open the door. But he doesn't want to fall for it, so let's throw some chunks of meat over the place. And while it's feasting, we open it. You just got to constantly turn the mouse because you can't do anything automatically in this game, it's all manual. Okay, that's got to be enough. Shut the door behind us. Oh no, it's locked. There's got to be some sort of key around here. There we are, hollow needle. Yeah, if you fall into the water, he will munch on you. and you really do not want that to happen. He's quite a fast eater, or rather they're quite a fast eater. There's quite a few of them. The reason that they're invisible, it's somewhat like how when they came to this dimension they've basically lost all physical form, but they still exist. So it's like they exist in another reality. Oh no, it's chasing us. Okay, now we have to shut the door behind us. It seems that the shadow is also here. There is no hiding from this guy, it's just simple run, open the door manually, shut it, and then leg it again. This is the story of Mona. I have never seen that movie. I know of it, but I don't actually know the storyline. You can see like the shadow jellies just pulsing all over the place. There we are. Oh gosh. Even though I've not played this game in quite a long time, it seems to be quite good with avoiding this monster. There we are, we've beaten him. Let's see where he is. Oh gosh, he's right there. Just like in the old Resident Evil games, monsters cannot travel through loading screens. And now we're completely safe. This game is a horror classic. Yes, I do like it. It's very good. Now, my camera is being forced to this fountain. Oh dear. Oh, you can click on the water. Don't know why. This is some very freaky artwork right now. Some nice sculpture. It's got wings as well, and I don't know what the woman's meant to be, whether this creature is the woman, like it's got human legs but the rest of it is all mouldy. Now that we've gone through a very tense chase scene, we have this very pretty environment. It's very calm. It's a bit freaky with the lit up statue here, but you can tell there's no threats because of the music. The music is always trustworthy, so you'll never hear this peaceful song and have a monster. If they did, I think that would be going a bit too far, just having this horrific being while peaceful lullabies are singing to you. Unless they do it just to like get a proper jump scare on you. Now the music's gone. That means we can be attacked again. Damn it, I can't play with oil anymore, we're simply running out. This game is very much like the old Resident Evil, other than monsters can't travel through cutscenes of course, in that supplies are very limited. Oh. Now if you holding an item, hold R, and you can just move this around. It's very cool. I don't think it's used for any objectives at all. In Resident Evil you can inspect items and physically turn the items around, and you'd have to do that to uncover some of the puzzles. You want to play the game because of how Lovecraftian it is. It's incredibly Lovecraftian. The game engine's named after it. Characters are named after Lovecraft. Not in this game, but in Penumbra. Oh, take care, Mr. Bear. I hope your power gets sorted out soon. We recently had storms here, but no power cuts, fortunately. One time it did happen when I was playing a horror game, and there was a power cut, and it made me jump so bad because like all the alarms around around the neighbourhood started going off. Like the screen went off all suddenly. It was very concerning. Doesn't help as well if you're like drawn into a game, because you're intently focused on it and any little sound can make you jump, especially if it's a game with jump scares or just horror in general. Yeah, it's Stefano. Yeah, I see you're a fan of PewDiePie. Cracked window is held by a wooden frame. Let's find an item and smash it. So for those of you who may not remember or you've not seen it, PewDiePie, one of the reasons he was so big is because of the Amnesia game. And in it there's the statue which we picked up a moment ago and we was rotating it around. He calls it Stefano, and it's like his constant companion that's always following him. Well, I say always following him, he's always picking it up, that is. You're a fan of his old videos? Yeah. His videos is one of the reasons why I myself just like found out about Amnesia and other horror games. Although I've been a fan of Frictional for years, I very much like their Penumbra series. I found it out by random. I was just looking for horror games on Steam, and there it was. I decided to have a look, and then I've played every single one of their games since, including a game on their forums. It's all top-down horror game. So it's very, very low tech. It's filled with spelling errors, but it was pretty cool. Hey, we've got full oil now. Oh no, there's a puzzle. So it's up 8, down 8. Oh, I'm not going to remember that at all. Normally I'd like write it down, but I'm streaming so I won't bother with that. I'm pretty sure there's a journal in this game. There is. Cool, we can just use the journal. Nice. Thank you, Alexander, for leaving tinderboxes all over the place. Gosh, the mansion's just crumbling everywhere. It only gets worse as time goes on, of course. Alexander's quite a lazy git, even though he is the owner of this place and ultimately one of the main antagonists. He basically just does nothing, just sits on his arse all day, while Daniel is the one roaming around doing everything. Even the gatherers are quite lazy. They just stand around waiting for things to happen. Now, I picked up an item, didn't I? I did, I got the flow cycle. Right, let's go and hopefully try not to kill ourselves. Now you see the trees collapsing, you can see the shadow has actually left the castle. It's quite worrying. It makes me wonder just how far it's going to spread. Whether it's actually going to, like, say, consume Earth itself as we know it. It's possible after all, there's no real limits to the shadow's power. What the shadow is itself just left to... Oh my gosh.
Let's see what you have to offer.
Oh, bye rabbit. This is just grim.
What a mess. I should have sharpened the saw, but I can sense it. It's definitely there.
Have you ever played or heard of a small horse custom story? What do you mean by the small horse custom stories? Small horse, is that the name of them? If so, I have never heard of them. What are they like? I've heard of a few custom stories, and indeed I've played a few myself. I do like the Amnesia custom stories. Some of them are quite amateur though, in the sense that... Oh god, skulls everywhere. Oh, Yorick, I knew him well. Him and his 6 other mates hiding in the cupboard. Oh, there he is. There's Alexander of Brennenburg. If your sanity goes low, the painting of him changes and he looks all freaky. Now, a moment ago you could hear a dude in this room being an asshole, basically skinning a rabbit alive with an unsharpened blade. He was doing that deliberately. Wasn't doing it to be cruel though. Although the act itself is cruel. It's another part of the story which they're just giving you hints of and they won't reveal until later. Even though the game's getting quite old now, I love the use of the lighting. It's a very beautiful game when you can see like the light shining through the windows or through like the open holes in the ceiling. It's very pretty. What isn't pretty is the awful screen tearing. I can't actually see it on the stream though, so you probably will think that I'm the one going mad, just commenting about a thing that you can't even see. Cardinal sin of video games, you should always be able to play the piano by clicking on them. So many games have that feature, and yet at the same token so many do not. So you talk about a game called The Suicide Guy. I did look at the trailer for that. It seemed pretty cool with a load of mini games. I likely won't because it's not the sort of things that I generally do on this channel. I don't think I've done a single non-horror game. Oh wait, I have. I've done one, and I believe it was Armour Free. Yeah, my very ever first video that I did for this channel was an Armour Free video.
You have an ascending.
2 years ago that was.
Will it take us to the inner sanctum?
It will definitely take care of the vertical part of our journey. So, you have ridden an elevator before?
Yes, the Colosseum at Regent's Park has one. It takes you to the gallery where you can view the panorama.
Good. This ride might be a little longer, and in the other direction.
The elevator's not working. I mean, we're gonna have to explore. Let's go into the machine room, and that will. Oh, for God's sake! Okay, let's not go into the machine room. You have a horror suggestion for me? Okay, give it to me. What is this horror game you mentioned? When I'm on my own, I almost never play horror games now. It's just too scary. Back in the 1990s, I could not play Resident Evil 2. It scared the hell out of me. When I first played it, I turned the game off after about 10 seconds of game time because it freaked me out so much of all the zombies. I didn't play it for years after. It was probably about 15 years after I first played the game I decided to finally complete it. So I'm a complete coward like that.
My journal is gone. What would they want with my journal?
Don't chat with strangers. That name is familiar for me, but I don't... I may be thinking of something else. Is it, what type of game is it? Is it like one where you have like full interaction, like a first person game like this, or is it like a text-based game? Oh, a crowbar, that'll come in handy. Not for killing enemies, of course.
July, the French.
Boring. Now let's see if we can open more cupboards. Hopefully there won't be any skulls hiding in here like last time. Oh my god, I'm making a complete mess of this place. Oh, there's a health item there for if you get attacked. I have a slight headache, but I'm not going to bother healing.
3rd of July. May 2nd.
It's a split screen. What is it? Is it multiplayer? I do like games where there's like two of you. There was a game I played called We Were Here, and it's sort of a semi-horror game in that while there's very few threats in the game. Oh, let's open it with the crowbar. And but you can see a lot of monsters, like they don't attack you, but you see them with a certain exception. And I thought that was a very good game, and I'm looking forward to the sequel.
Please, let it be here.
Oh shit, it's here! Now the monster's alerting me, so let's hide in the cupboard. Let's keep it open a little bit as well, just so we can see him. Yeah, he's breaking through the door. Oh, there he is. Is don't chat with strangers on Steam. If not, I will have a look at it anyway. But if it is, you know, I'll just have a look there instead. But yeah, I'll have a look when the stream's over and see if it's anything I like at all. There, the monster's gone, we're safe now. Unless he's bamboozling us and he's like, he opens the door and then runs back.
4th of July.
Now, a lot of these notes are basically Daniel just going on about how he's taking these expositions to Egypt, and it's going to like these like pyramids, and he sees this orb and he takes it with him. And ever since he found the orb, people around him are dying. He eventually gets a message from a man called Alexander of Brennenburg saying, "Come to this castle, I am the only one that can save you." I don't have anyone to play split screen games with. I have played some horror games which are multiplayer. One of them was, I think it was called Cry of Fear, which was a Half-Life mod. That was scary. Scary for the wrong reasons though, because it was just basically filled with jump scares. It had zero subtlety whatsoever. Oh wow, this looks very inviting. Let's see. All supplies aren't too great, we've only got a half left. Now, if I wasn't streaming, I'd be way more scared of this game. I think due to the fact that I basically have to give, you know, commentary, it means that I'm almost taken out of the scares almost. Well, nearly anyway, it's still a freaky game. But then again, I have also completed this. Oh no. It also means when I'm streaming or if I'm doing a YouTube video, oh god. Oh my god, he's not even... Oh no. Okay, oh god, I take it back, I'm scared. Oh, he's running. I'm pretty sure a moment ago he was like floating. He missed me. I can't look back on the stream because it's already happened now. But like, I've basically got the stream on my second monitor. But I'm pretty sure he was literally just like gliding towards us, Michael Jackson moonwalking style. You suggest Monstrum. I have, I've not played it, but I have seen videos of Monstrum. It's quite scary. One thing I really liked is that the third and final monster they introduced to the game, they did not mention it in the patch notes, so that when people played the game, they were completely unaware of this new threat. And I thought that was very clever. So we are here to piss our pants beside you, thank you. When I am doing videos, I am forced to like trudge through it, despite my scares, because that'd be a crap video. Otherwise, it's like, hello, welcome to part 1 of this generic horror game on Steam. 1 minute later, okay, I'm done. Do not subscribe for part 2 because there won't be one. I've never played a horror game for this channel, which I've been too scared to play. There's games I've played and I didn't like the commentary I gave. One was a horror game called Quantrum. I really didn't like my commentary, so I deleted all 2 hours of footage that I had, and I've never released a video for that game as a result. Also, it was in early access and I thought, you know what, I might as well just wait until it finishes. But then it did finish and I never actually played it. I probably should, because I have far too many Steam games and I really should be going through them more. Although this is a start, I guess. I'm playing a 7-year horror game, even if I've already gone through it before. Although I never completed Justine because it was too scary. I could not get past the final chase scene. It was far too much for me. It was just terrifying. Now we picked up an item. We picked up a drill part, so I think you can combine items together. Yes. Oh, no. I cannot assemble this item because we need to find every single part first. The valve is rusted shut. Oh, I get it. So we have to create a drill, and we'll create and we'll use the chemistry pot, and that will get us some, well, whatever the hell's in here. What is this? Secondary. Secondary what? Was this oil we're getting at? Unfortunately, I just read the stream rather than like actually listen to the storyline. Although of course I have already completed this game, so I know all the story already. But I have forgotten certain parts of this. Let's see, we have 32 tinder boxes. Should probably start using them. Excellent drill part, we've got it. Hand drill, perfect. Now let's grab this oil or whatever it is. Unless it's some sort of like lubricant perhaps, because something was rusted shut a moment ago and we were physically unable to turn it. Some sort of like handle. There we go. Oh, use the pot. Don't let it go to waste. Oh, explosive mixture. So there's secondary. Is this the primary? Let's find out. No. What about you? Probably not, because there's no label on you. You should play Welcome to the Game. That's that dark web game, isn't it? I haven't played it, but I have seen Let's Plays of it. Unless I'm thinking of something else, it may be the Red Room I'm thinking of. Unless that is Welcome to the Game. I do not recall it. Can you tell me about it? Oh, and what was that first game you mentioned as well? The single player game. It was Don't Chat to Strangers, that was it. It is the one I'm thinking of. I didn't like that game because I disliked the whole Five Nights at Freddy's-esque gameplay where you're exploring the dark web, but as you're doing it, some sort of kidnappers trying to get into your house, and there's some very silly ways to avoid him, like turning off your monitor and stuff like that at various points, and I thought it was a bit nonsensical, especially considering the kidnapper constantly appears, and the tactics you're doing to try and stop him really shouldn't be working. I've noticed the monster that attacked us a moment ago, he's not here anymore. Unless it was a fake monster, that can happen. It's possible for monsters to attack you and then they just vanish. And that may have been one such sanity effect. Right, there's nothing here. They've only kept one ingredient here, so it looks like, oh, unless that's it. Yeah, no, we found it. Sorry, I was talking out my arse. Okay, let's use the pot so we don't waste it. It looks like I'm nodding. It's actually because the camera was forcing me to look up. Now we have the explosive mixture. Bit concerned right now. I know the monster's around here somewhere. Or at least he should be around here anyway. He could have just buggered off.
Please, let me go. I won't tell anyone, I swear. I just want to go home. No! Get away from me! Leave me alone!
Quite a while ago we heard that woman scream, "Get away from me," so we know it's just some illusion that's speaking to us. Or it's rather Daniel's memory is coming back to him. Machine parts, oh that sounds interesting. Oh. Can we use explosives? Right, run. I can hear that woman crying. What the? Why aren't you going off? What do you mean don't set off the explosion? I can't. Oh, I get it. We need to find an item, don't we? We get a rock, throw it, and nothing happens. Damn it. Oh, yes it does. Oh, God. Oh, that was close. I was nearly a human pizza. I'm in a brand new area. Let's turn on this tinderbox. And then let's leave the bloody room, making the tinderbox worthless.
Why are you doing this? Get away from me!
At the moment it's 11 PM for me and it's really annoying when the screen just flashes white like that. Very difficult to say. Oh no, piggies. What have they done to you, Mr. Pig? Oh wow, you can play with them. You can turn off the light and play with them like the former Prime Minister. Ah, I knew there was an item here. There's no way they would have stacked so many barrels here without a little goodie waiting for us. Oil, fantastic. You can never have too much oil. What do I think about Little Nightmares? I very much liked the Little Nightmares. I didn't get it myself, I just saw a Let's Play of it. Or rather 2 Let's Plays of it. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. Thought it was very good. I love the atmosphere. Oh God! Right, let's hide in the pig room. I have to be cautious here. This is where you have to make a choice. Do you make yourself more visible and stay in the light, or do you stay in the dark? You're more hidden, but your sanity goes down really fast. And the effects multiply as well, so if your sanity is low when you're in the dark and you look at a monster, you're buggered. Ultimately, the final effect is you collapse. You just fall over, and it means if you're getting chased, enemies will get you. The reason I instantly shut that door was because I knew that was going to happen. I remember that scene when I first played the game. Oh, I didn't remember that. When I first played the game 7 years ago, it was one of the biggest jump scares for me when I opened that door. Ow! You can touch the fire and it hurts you. I do not know why I'm surprised by this. I've really sort of seen that coming. You know, I might as well use the oil. So we don't have any items, so we can't use it yet. Now we need to go to the inner study to find some rods. Turn off the light. Now if you hold Q or E, you can lean. It's quite a cool effect. Fire hurt you, how can this be? It's like Futurama. The professor will help. Ow, fire hot. And then someone touches it and it's like, fire indeed hot. Nah, I'm just going to stay in the dark for a bit and crouch. I can hear the music. The music never lies. There is a gatherer here, there has to be. Can't combine the Trinity rods now. One is Trinity and one's 4 phase, so that implies 3 and 4. And if we need a 2 and a 1. Oh, cool, you can play with the chains. I love the physics for this game, it's great. That you can interact with all the doors and every single cupboard and drawer and wardrobe. Really helps bring you into the world. Makes the chase scenes a lot more scarier as well, because you can't just press a button and open the door. You have to. There we scene, mate. You have to hold left click, drag it with the mouse, and then open it, and then turn around and close it again. So as you can see, I can open this door as little or as much as I want. By the slasher, do you mean the guy that's chasing me? If you look at one of his arms, I think it's his right arm. It's all freaky, and there he is. Shut the door, shut the door. Okay, let's go. I'm gonna hide behind here. The green guy with the rusty blade. Ah, is that the brute you're on about? Although green guy, I thought he was blue. Or like bluey grey. I remember his face is all completely mashed up. Although then again, so are these guys. So before, we had that scene where the soldiers are drinking the poison wine, and they all start, well, exploding and deforming really badly. They are the gatherers. So these are Alexander's former soldiers that have all been mutated via the wine or the shadow. It's a bit unclear which. I think it may be a combination of both. It's buggering away. Hey Hazzy, welcome. What have you missed? About 90 minutes. We've encountered the first 2 sets of enemies already. I'm just going to sneak behind him a little bit. The brute's face looks like a toothed vag. It does indeed. Yeah, its mouth is split open and there's teeth all over the sides of it. This guy, however, just has well, his face is like drooping and his jaw is elongated. And one of his hands are basically just these like deformed claws. Ooh, that was close. See if I can distract him. I'm like totally Solid Snake right now. Now we need to try and get into that room where he was. There you are. We did that deliberately. Okay, it's seen me, but that's okay, because we'll shut the door. And it's a dead end. Oh god. Barricade the door now. Oh god. Oh, this isn't good. This was stupid of me. I thought we had to come in here for some reason. Oh bloody hell, it's just tinder boxes. Frictional games bamboozle me once more. Oh no, more barricade. Come on. Don't touch barrels. Yes, PewDiePie warned me that one should never trust a barrel. They will always betray you. Damn it. My sanity is going way too low, so I have to use the lantern. You know what? Oh, I can't open the door because I barricaded it. Is he here? Oh my god, he's there. He's right beyond this door. Oh no. Yeah. I can see him. His AI has bugged out. He's trying to get to me. The gatherers should be able to destroy the doors. I wonder if I can with a barrel. Oh, skill. I can pick up the barrels before they hit the ground. Okay, that was pointless. There's no way out of this room and there's no other supplies I can take. Oh, yes there is, in the box. What if I... Okay, if I stay in the dark for a moment, I can see if he goes away. If he doesn't, then his AI is completely bugged out. I am indeed fucked 6 ways from Sunday. He is indeed humping the door. His AI is bugged out. He's supposed to smash the door down, but this guy's not. Let's see if we can see him. Yeah, I can see his shadow. He's right beyond the door. Now, this is a push door, and I can't push because he's in the way. He's very much enjoying himself, yes. Hopefully he won't be bugging out. Oh, for fuck's sake. Oh, you are kidding me. Oh shit, and the light's gone out. Thank you, Frictional Games, for trapping me in a literal hell. I am trapped in this room with a buggy AI. Come on, I'm gonna have to force my way out. Oh no, it's possible the game has auto-saved me in this room. If that's the case, I'm buggered. I have no lantern. I don't have any oil. Yes, Harriet, I was fine until you showed up. Now I'm trapped. I'm trying to force my way out. Come on. Come on, you fucking shit AI. No, I do not want to restart this entire game all over again. Trying everything. Oh, my sanity is taking a pounding as well. I can hear bugs all over the place. Let's break it down. It's not working. Come on, put your back into it, Daniel. Oh, I can't force through it. If you make a funny montage, put this scene in it. Yeah, I'll put in like all 30 hours of it of just like me trying to break through this bloody door with a barrel while the monster keeps me trapped here forever.